pebbles, not realizing is our signature cacahuat. Mama Yokaji fed to Papa Yokadi, is he that Robin Lakwas tea caco from his chest and under his neck, pisi paimebe, and he dropping it on the floor and on the potager, blaming the poor man, saying he's Lakwas when he's cacahuat. But what is even more dangerous, Pisanu? You may make a question about what, but I tell you, think pisa what mem kongramazon, I call it a pipiling. The people that no play, we give them a pipiling, lamod. The people that touche you or n'importe ça you can manger, they in trouble, leptospirosis. Look at us, we are fat and plump. No walk on mago was, thanks to those who aime malpopte. Monkey malpop our greatest friends. Ever change moi de monkey pop are our greatest enemies. Anyway, I hope you make it through the night. Please portray that black and white picture. Cause somebody only malnutrition, lest I could tell my meg. You can starve ou pound what was. Mo keni pou voyon ticket bow pour venir joindre moi so you can enjoy the bon temps too. Yours delightfully, Raoul Raphael Ratcliffe, the Grand Master of the Rat Empire. P.S.
It's 1:14. Just thought I should remind you to keep your environment clean. Good job there by our good friend Felix Henderson. This is Q95. The Dominican Met Office has issued a weather advisory warning of moderate to heavy rains and thunderstorms, adding that persons living in areas prone to flooding and falling rock should be vigilant. Let's listen to the weather report.
July 20th, 2016, as recorded at 12 noon. The conditions at the Douglas Charles Airport were cloudy with adjacent showers. Surface winds east-southeasterly at 9 knots or 17 kilometers per hour. The present temperature 31 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit. The conditions at the Kingsfield Airport were overcast with showers and recent thunderstorms. The surface winds west-northwesterly at 6 knots or 11 kilometers per hour. The present temperature 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. The weather outlook for Dominica and the Lesser Antilles. An increase in moisture levels following the passage of a tropical wave is expected to result in an increase in cloudiness with showers and possible isolated thunderstorms across the area during the next 18 hours. Persons in areas prone to flooding, landslides and falling rocks are advised to be vigilant and to exercise caution. A relative improvement in conditions is expected by tomorrow. Moderate sea conditions are expected during the next 24 hours, with waves peaking near 7 feet. The synopsis: weak unstable conditions are affecting the area. The forecast for this afternoon and tonight: mostly cloudy to overcast at times, hazy and occasionally breezy, with showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. The wind east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 15 to 35 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions moderate in open water with waves of 1.5 to 2 meters or 5 to 7 feet. Please remember that we are in the hurricane season. For updated information on weather conditions, log on to our website at www.weather.gov.dm or call our weather hotline at 447-5555. Reporting from the Douglas Charles Met Office, I am Alifa Banis.
Thank you, Elizabeth Banis there. So keep your eyes on the weather. This is the talk on the block. If there's something happening in your part of Dominica, feel free to give us a call. It's on a Wednesday. If there is something happening, please feel free to call 449-3095, 96 and 97, or 616-4257. Just in case you missed it this morning, here's the Prime Minister on the upcoming budget, the upcoming fiscal package to be presented on Tuesday.
We will see a lot of money being spent in the economy, and it will enhance the employment numbers, the employment opportunities. It will enhance.
PM, can you kind of speak up? I'm not, you don't have the level of energy you usually have.
The services which the private sector provides. I mean, contractors will have work, truckers will have work, heavy equipment operators will have a lot of work, and I see a situation where many Dominicans who reside in St. Martin and Antigua and the other islands will come back home, as some of them are already doing, to pick up work in Dominica. You're going to have a lot of work taking place, a lot of jobs and a lot of contracts and so forth, and you're going to require a large number of people to provide those services. So we just have to work together. We can criticize, yes, but let the criticism be constructive. But one will agree that this government is on the right track. And
well, you heard the Prime Minister, of course, and as I said this morning, a little low in terms of the energy, but as I said, optimistic. Hello, talk to me.
Hello, good afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
How are you doing, brother?
But let me tell you, I have a concern not about Prime Minister's speech. I want to talk about the situation that exists in Marigot as it relates to the Wasco.
Okay.
Since after Hurricane David, Tropical Storm Erica.
Yes, Tropical Storm, yes.
The people of Valley and Rose Hill in Marigot do not have water. I have made complaints to the office and the situation still remains the same. I would be very grateful if they would do something about the water situation for the people of Valley and Rose Hill.
So what are they telling you at Dowasco?
They say they're going to send people up to look. People have come, but the reality is there still isn't water. No,
but when I ask, what are they telling you? What is the problem then?
They don't say anything. They take a report. They take my number. They ask me to tell them where the houses are, that they could find them. But the reality is no water at Rose Hill and Valley.
And this has been happening since August then.
August last year, man. August last year. This is unbelievable. This is unacceptable. I mean, I would really appreciate if they would really do something, find out what the problem is and fix it, because this thing is not good. You can't be living in 2016 without water like that.
Dewasco, I hope you heard. Well, it won't be the first time, would it? 449-3095, 449-3096. Is somebody still on the phone? Hello. Four 449-3095-96 and 97. Your Prime Minister.
And it will enhance the employment numbers, the employment opportunities. It will enhance the businesses, the services which the private sector provides. I mean, contractors will have work, truckers will have work, heavy equipment operators will have a lot of work. And I see a situation where many Dominicans who reside in St. Martin and Antigua and the other islands will come back home, as some of them are already doing, to pick up work in Dominica. You're going to have a lot of work taking place, a lot of jobs and a lot of contracts and so forth, and you're going to require a large number of people to provide those services. So we just have to work together. You know, we can criticize, yes, but let the criticism be constructive. But one will agree that this government is on the right track and doing all of the important things that are required to take us to the next level.
Okay. We have telephone calls. Hello.
Yes, Matt?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to send greetings and God's blessings former Prime Minister Patrick John. I saw on Facebook that he is in hospital and he had an amputation. So, on behalf of my family, and I know the people here in Barbados, we wish him well. And to all those who are sick and incapacitated, I wish everybody a blessed day, and I hope he recovers soon and very good.
Thank you. Hello, talk to me.
Hello?
Yes.
Mr. Sherry, if you can say something good, just say nothing at all. I mean, a content song. If you can say something good, just shut up. Just shut up.
All right. Hello, talk to me.
Yes, good afternoon, Matt. How are you?
I'm good.
Good evening. How are your listeners? Matt, you know, every time I hear the Prime Minister speak, I get amused, you know, Matt.
Why?
Mr. Skerritt is the Minister of Finance, Matt. Matt, everybody else in the region, I hear them talking about, he's talking about work, Matt, but you know the challenges to our financial services sector concerning the de-risking. I have not heard Roosevelt Skerritt, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of Dominica, utter one word in regard to what is the government's position as regards this de-risking in the United States that poses a challenge not only to the existence of the indigenous bank, but to the existence of the entire financial services sector in the region. But this is disgraceful, Matt.
For the local man, can you break down what the risking is? Because a lot of people may be following here and saying, what is he talking about? Can you break it down?
Matt is a simple thing, Matt. It's a business decision, Matt. The revenue that they get, in other words, the National Bank of Dominica has a correspondent bank in the United States through which they do clear transactions, Matt. The number of transactions that the National Bank of Dominica does is not sufficient to pay the bank in the United States for the risks inherent in the transactions that the National Bank has. Given the fact, one, that we are a tax haven, we are a high-risk jurisdiction for money laundering, we are a high-risk jurisdiction now for terrorist financing, we are high risk now, Matt, for the safe haven for the proceeds of corrupt government transactions, Matt. We also, Matt, have the issue of what we call politically exposed persons, PEPs, Matt. These are things that are examined by the U.S. regulators at these banks, Matt. Now, we have regional prime ministers talking foolishly about they're going to Washington. What are you going to Washington to do? Matt, it is a business decision. For example, the Royal Bank of Canada took a business decision the other day to increase their fees that they charge to their customers, Matt. Matt, do you think that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit or his government could do anything about that? No, Matt. It is a business decision that these companies take, that the little two transactions that are done by these indigenous banks individually does not compensate them for the risk involved. Therefore, they are doing what business people do, reducing their risk. And since these banks individually by themselves, they don't have sufficient capital, they are not properly managed, they do not have effective compliance policies and procedures, they do not have good supervision, Matt. Therefore, these banks do not want to be hassled by the regulators or fined. And that is what the issue is, Matt. Now, how does that challenge our financial services sector? First of all, Matt, if you don't have a correspondent bank to clear your transactions, Matt, you cannot do business within U.S. currency. I may not be able to send a little $200 to Dominica because it has to go through some clearing, Matt. And I cannot understand for the love of me, with all these sort of intellectuals we have in the Caribbean, they cannot wrap their hand around a basic thing like that. It is a business decision. It is not one for politicians to muddy the waters. It is those people like the ministers of finance, the financial secretaries, the accountant generals, Matt. These are the people who, and the central bank, and business people, the private sector, who must now take up the mantle in terms of, okay, we need to form a solid entity, a solid bank. If we have to consolidate all the indigenous banks into one, under one company, well capitalized, well managed, without government ministers sending people to work in those banks. Now, these are some of the problems that the people face when dealing with these ill-managed, poorly managed banks with poor liquidity, no real structure. Now, do you know that the National Bank of Dominica, before I came to Dominica, did not have an internal auditing manual? And I doubt if many of them still have, Matt. They don't have basic procedures of how to operate in the 21st century, and they keep talking about globalization, Matt. These are the things that are troubling to me.
Thank you so much. 131, an issue to watch. De-risking in the Caribbean. Hello.
Blessings to you, my brother.
How you doing, my brother?
I good. Mr. Robinson, blessings to you. Gail, blessings to you. Matt, is very interesting, Can you recall a couple of years back when Ambrose George was warning Dominicans living in Antigua, tell them do not come back home, because when they come back home, they wouldn't have nothing for them to do. What can I do what can I offer you?
Yeah, that was in Antigua just before the election day, the last one.
So he was asking them, please do not return to Dominica, because there is nothing Dominica has to offer them.
But now the Prime Minister is saying, well, very soon there'll be something to do.
My brother, most of the times I listen to Roosevelt Skerrit, I have already come to my conclusion on his mental state. The brother is, he's twisted, convoluted, distorted, and delusional. Because what that has happened to Roosevelt Skerrit, he has done so much harm to Dominicans. he become a little carefree now, Matt, with the deception.
Mm-hmm.
Because he do not have to put too much work into having Dominicans quiet, pacified, and fooled. You know? So he just figured he could come and say anything and he'll get no need to call Hartley, Henry, and Peter Wickams and Tony. He can just come and say anything, man, because Dominic... And that is where I noticed something is wrong with the brother. And Matt, I want other people to call, but Matt, imagine... I was at the hospital today, Matt. And maggots all over an area. And I was wondering what the hell that is happening. Let us not talk of what I have experienced while I was there, Matt. 18 days and another 7 days, you know? Matt, come on. We have termites, we have mice or rats and roaches and bird lice and everything. Matt, can you imagine these guys breaking sections of the hospital and having to bring some exterminators to spray the soil, treating the soil? They have paint, they have, how they call it, putty. They have all different kind of chemicals using, plus the noise and the dust. You're going to build a hospital on patients, Matt. On patients, you cannot relocate them. And you're going to have the Chinese. It seems like Roosevelt Scarrett is looking for an easier transition than where the Angelo they talk about that bring stones and drop on those people and take over the land. Where the Dalai Lama is from, I forget their name. Tibet. The way the Chinese took over Tibet because Tibet was indebted to them for over 100 years and could not pay them. But maybe Scarrett looking for easier transition. To just kill patients, my brother, you want to build a hospital, own a hospital, Dominica has so much land. My brother, that's something a lot of people may not be paying attention to. But not because of...
You sense a lot of problems ahead, be it environmental or other, that they're going to build this hospital on the hospital while this one is operating.
Matt, there are various implications having to do with health, the environment, and everything else. I mean, come on, who they can write to